this is how Datorama is supposed to log in. You'll you have to go to platform.datorama.com, and you need to, you can go ahead and you can see that these are the things that are there. So as I mentioned, there are, so this is overall the tool. You have the connect and mix, analyze and act, and visualize. These are the three things that are there as tabs, which you need to go and venture out regularly when you're working with it. We have the marketplace, that's called a custom marketplace. Marketplace is nothing but some of the ready-made connectors that Salesforce gives us, and all are all are acquired by Datorama, by Salesforce, and some of them are partnered with Salesforce. But the ultimate goal is providing with more insights, um, providing with uh, some of the informative insights, which basically can be a part of the marketplace. You can see this the you can consider them as apps which are there for your help. You can see it's been by escalated, by Datorama, by Salesforce, by Nebula, by Sheck, and all these are developers who have developed these apps for Datorama, not only for Datorama per se. I'll say for the entire Salesforce Marketing Cloud. Some of them are can be used, cross used maybe across the Salesforce platforms, but then they are pretty much true for Datorama as well as we speak. And these apps can be used along with your native dashboards, whereby you need to say, let's say you want to do something like a media pacing app, which is there. So when you want to do a media pacing, you need to connect all your data sources, and then you can have a visual. You can have customized visuals, or visuals that you want to aspire for. And these are apart from the entire work that you do in dashboarding. You can just import these apps can be, after you've installed, they can be one of the pages in your dashboard along with the native dashboard. And you can take advantage of these apps, and you can create as much as creative insights you want to, because we have brand watch, which is I guess if any one of you have worked on social listening, brand watch is one of the important tools in that medium. We have cross channel marketing performances, we have customer insights, which you can go ahead. There are free apps, and then there are paid apps. So free apps are something which you can, once you have your accesses, you can just go ahead and download the free apps from the marketplace. If you're an admin, you can do it yourself. If you're not an admin, you need to ask your admin that, can you please provide me access to it, or can you please download it off to my workspace, and you can use it as part of your dashboard and create numerous visuals, which basically becomes an add-on with your native graphs. Okay, so this is the marketplace. Now coming to connect and mix. Connect and mix is the most important part, and the first part in data ingestion, whereby when you go to the left pane, you see data streams, and these all are data streams basically. So if you want to connect something, you can go ahead and you can connect your data. And once you have connected your data, so how do you do that? Like, these are data streams, right? You go to create new, and as shown yesterday, we have total connect, we have light connect. I'll explain what light connect is, but like, for now we can keep it light maybe, because we do use it, but I'll tell you, like, when we use it, but it's not that major, but we'll take it as a topic afterwards. For now, let's talk about Total Connect. Total Connect is nothing but um,
I can see the look and feel, the appearance is changed a bit. Do we have any option to go back to the same view mode, which
we
was there
did,
in previously?
yeah, we did have like, that switch to go back to that edition, but now, but previously, what we had, and now, like, previously this view was in beta testing, because I have a friend who works in the support team of Datorama itself, and I was in discussion with him. So he said, like, this was a view that was being discussed since last year maybe, but
Okay.
they did implement because people were pretty much used to the older view of data and mapping. So, but now they have introduced, and I don't see, at least I don't see any button that tells me that you can go back to the old mode now, because it is already launched, and the app has updated, the platform has updated.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Thank you.
no problem. So Total Connect basically helps me upload flat files, upload all the things that I want to upload, which are not there as form of API. So that's basically a short uh, description. Maybe like you have a CSV, you have an Excel, you have like, whatever format, and you can go ahead. If you have a JSON, if you have a JSS, if you have something like that, you already have those things um, as part of the. So if you go to Total Connect, you can see that you have the technical vendors: Atara, AWS, Athena, Google Drive, spreadsheets, Python, however, SQL Server, SFTPs, reports. So you mostly, like, whatever you use as part of the Total Connect process, you get everything that you can connect from. Previously, Amazon S3 used to be not there. Like, many things used to be not there, but now, as need has come in, as the platform has updated itself, we see, like, mostly all the connectors. We see S3, we see Redshift, we see Azure Blob, uh, and so on and so forth. You have Drive your spreadsheets, OneDrive, and, like, each uh, organization is different from the other, right? So they have their um, own set of databases. Like, I know, like, three clients which I've worked with. They're using Redshift. One is using S3. One is using Snowflake. So basically, everyone has their own choice, and Datorama updated itself. Now, apart from that, if you have a flat file that you want to upload in there, which I want you, like, if you have time, then go ahead and explore with your formats. So you can go ahead and you can just, like, choose the file wherever it is there, as an Excel or as a CSV, and you can start connecting your data. Right. So that's about Total Connect. And then when you go from data stream list to there are data load rules. Data load rules, and we will take it as a separate topic, but to give an overview, data load rules basically help us. As I said, you data, how does Datorama charges? Datorama charges us on row level, row basis, correct? Yesterday we have discussed this. So when we know that, that yeah, that I am charged on a row level. So what is the what is that I want to do about it? I want to remove redundant rows, and I want to keep only the things that are helpful to me and that are needed, and not redundant data. So data load rule is first way of filtration, I'll say. It's pretty similar to the quick filter that you have in, if anyone has used Tableau. Once you connect your data, you get a data pane whereby your data is shown in a tabular mode. You get to see the columns, you get to see your dimensions, your measurements, and then you have a quick filter above whereby you can do the first level of filtering maybe when the data comes into Tableau. So data load rules are somewhat like that, whereby say suppose I have four agencies giving me data and I want three agencies only. So I can go ahead and create a rule in Datorama whereby what it will do is it will filter out the other one and give other filter out the agency that we don't want, and it will be supplying us with data as a and like for the three relevant agencies that we wanted. It's kind of a filter that comes in the first, but then it comes with some advanced packages as well, whereby you can use operators. I'm sure everyone knows what are and or not operators, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So when you have operators, life becomes a bit easy for you. That's because when you have multiple conditions to be fulfilled while filtering a data, at that point of time, what you need is operators. Because say suppose you have two conditions. I'll say that I want data for United States. Okay, in my data I have United States, and I have four states under US. So what I say is I want data for US, but not for all the four cities, but I want it for two cities. So if there are two conditions, what we need to do is which is basically a if statement that you write. So data load rules comes very handy, whereby it helps us use operators in the entire system, and filter out my data. So that's like a first level filtering that you can do. You have to keep in mind that data load rules are created before a data stream is created. Okay. Why? Because what you do is you apply the rule when you create the data stream. Now, it doesn't mean that if I have an existing data stream, why we say that it is created before the data stream, because once you create a data load rule, if you create if you create the data stream as the next process, then in that process itself you can add your rule and save it off. Let me give you an example. Say suppose now, so if you are someone who is careless like me, then you don't rename your data streams, and your data streams come as total connect, and then total connect one, then total connect two, and then you go ahead and see, like, oh yeah, I had to rename it and stuff. So always do name your data streams while you're creating it. So if I just go to edit. So we have this. This is basically when we edit a data stream. There is something called load rules. So don't worry about these. We will go in detail, and we will see, like, how things work. But when I'm creating a data stream with a given set of data, why I'm not going is because we have not discussed mapping. We have to discuss mapping before I take you guys to creating the data stream as well. So you need to map your data, and then you arrive at a screen like this, which has load mode, load rules. So this is basically the data load rules. Now, if you have created your data load rule before creating your data stream, what you can do is you can go ahead and select from here itself the load rule, and it works perfectly while you save it off. Now, it doesn't mean that if I have a data stream and if I have a load rule created later, I cannot create it. No, that is nothing. There is nothing like that, but just that you need to go and repeat this process of editing the data stream, selecting the rule, or unselecting the rule. That's why it is said that data load rules are created before you create a data stream. Okay, so this got changes. Don't worry, we will go through it. Data mapping is, yeah, I just talked about mapping. Mapping is nothing but mapping your left hand side stuffs to your right hand side stuffs. So what comes in left hand side is my is basically my raw data columns, which can be very much seen using the data mapping visualizer, whereby it is giving me, like, what all are the things that what all do I have in my external data. So external data always comes to your left, and internal data, as in internal data means the data model or Datorama model fields which are already present for your help. So when you put a file which has campaign from your left hand side, when it comes in, it automatically identifies that, oh, okay, so he has chosen campaign, which means, it identifies that it is a campaign, and it basically helps you with it. Helps you with identifying the column campaign and mapping it to the data model campaign. Okay, and then you have the external data and the data models mapped together. We will go through that again in detail in some time. We have data source authentication. Let's not get into it. It's nothing but, like, checking your authentication and creator type level, all these things. We can create workflows. Let's jump to Harmonization Center. Harmonization Center contains data classification, patterns, harmonized dimensions. So we will go through each of these topics and we will see what does they mean. Harmonization Center as a whole has, like, if I don't have any pattern or classification rules created in my Harmonization Center because it's a training workspace. But we will create and we will see how it works. What is classification? Has anyone worked on any kind of classification earlier? Or do you have any idea what classification means? Not in Datorama, but anywhere if you have done any form of classification.
like segmenting the data.
Exactly. Exactly. It is segmenting data. It is like you have multiple companies call, that you have book of business, or you have a classification sheet that you refer to in order to segment your data into various, by delimiters maybe, or like you have a code, and then you have the name beside the code which you want to refer to. You have a classification sheet basically. So that's data classification for you, in which you can upload your data classification sheet, and you can make your raw data refer to that classification sheet and do that. We can create rules. We will create rules and we will see how it works. Coming to patterns, patterns are another type of um, harmonization tool, which basically identifies the pattern of your data and segments it. So if you say that, if you have put, like, a dimension, so you need to select any dimensions over here. So if you select a campaign name dimension, so it basically goes and fetches all the types of campaign dimension present in your workspace. So if you select one of them, and if you select and apply, what it does is it processes all the values that comes in delimiters. So if you can see that it's coming as the first value, the second value after delimiter, the third value after delimiter, the fourth one, and the fifth one. So, but there are some not valids coming as well. So those not valids are basically coming for all the campaigns which are not, set up like this, or some other reason. What are the reasons? We will discuss when we are discussing patterns. But pattern is something also which also helps you segregate your data into various positions, and then you can use this as well as classifications and whatnot. Harmonized dimensions. We will see what are harmonized dimensions, and you will see whenever you create patterns. Whenever you're creating a pattern, just understand this. Whenever you are delimiting a campaign name or a site name or anything, and you're putting a name for it, this thing is becoming an individual. Let me select one. So whenever you put a name for this and save, always remember that this is becoming an individual dimension, correct? Position 2 is becoming an individual dimension. You may put the name as quarter, or this is year, or this is like company name. Company name becomes a dimension. It's as good as a calculated dimension for you, correct? So or the fourth position as NC, whatever. So that's something that's not what we are looking for, what is there in this campaign or not. But all these components in delimiters or after delimiters or before these become individual columns, and they are as good as harmonized dimensions, right? So basically, what I mean by harmonized dimension is I can use this company name wala dimension in any of my reports or any of my visuals that I want to use. I can use this as a dimension, and I can populate values alongside. Correct. So when we do that, what happens is in harmonized dimensions, we get to see all these dimensions that I've created using harmonization methodologies.
Uh, just one question on related to patterns.
Mhm.
So when the taxonomy or the names are not proper, then we can't use the patterns feature, right?
Um, we can because there is something called a manual setup.
Okay.
So it depends how you classify your data then. So first is so you have identical campaigns as well in your taxonomy, right? Which are like which forms a set, which forms. What you need to do is you need to identify how you want to do it. So say suppose you have 20 campaigns, among which 10 of them matches to your matches, and then rest 10 are not matching because they are different to each other. But your first 10 gets classified. You can have the rest what are not being classified, and then you can create another pattern whereby if the fifth position is the second position over there, you can use another pattern, or else you need to go back to your data team and ask them to fix the taxonomy. But there are ways in which you can segment a pattern, and you can get the data. Yeah, definitely you are correct that that is a longer process though to do that. Rather than that, if you have a uniform way of doing it, then definitely you can go ahead and uniform. You can maintain the uniformity when everything is identical. But then there are what do you call jugaad processes which you can also apply in your patterns, and you can have those non-classified ones. But given that all the positions are there, but they are not in the same position as you want them to, you can do that process. But if it is at all a different so if it is something like Amazon is the name, and then other campaigns are named like this, definitely this Amazon guy will fall apart from the rest, and you need to go back to the team to maintain uniformity. Yeah.
Okay. For example, position 2 says Q4, Q3, Q1, right?
Mhm.
For example, one of the campaign name was not set properly, and in position 2 we are seeing company name also. So at the time, do you prefer making another pattern, or is there any way to make changes in the pattern itself?
That's what I'm saying. Like so if the second position tells you Q4 and company name comes in there,
Mhm.
um, there are ways you can. So I won't say that create another pattern unless needed. If it is at all needed for you, so there comes classification and pattern working hand in hand with itself. So patterns and classification does work hand in hand, because what I'll say is, if say suppose 50% of your campaigns have been split using patterns, the rest 50% is something which is not aligning to the delimiters, or not aligning to the positions that you want them. They are not as good as the rest 50 which have already matched. Then go ahead, create a data classification sheet for yourself, whereby you can just go ahead and maybe define the classifications, and then you can upload, and then you can get back, like, you can just classify your data accordingly, and you can classify those campaigns which are not following the pattern. But if you see another pattern forming in there, so do go back and classify those, because once you have classified, say suppose position 3 in this pattern is company name, and in your other pattern, if necessary, so I'm saying that if there is a huge chunk of campaign which you want to classify, create another pattern in which position, like, whatever position is you want, and then you can go to your harmonized dimensions, and there are ways in which we can have both of them defined in a single dimension, and we can go ahead, we can use formulas, maybe we can use contains, we can use if else formulas, whereby we can use colis, maybe to colis functions, whereby we can define that, this and this column means the same to me. So go ahead, and there are multiple ways basically, but it depends on what's your need. If you have 5 campaigns which are unclassified, why to go for another pattern and do all these roundabout methods?
So
Just go ahead.
when we put two patterns, then the dimension name, whatever we gave here, that will be the same, right?
It
For
will be
both
the
the
same.
pattern. Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
it will be.
Got that. Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Cool, no problem. We will discuss patterns in detail. So then we will take, like, examples, and we will see how to work on that. Rest, like, there is another function of extract and not extract. So when you don't extract, you don't want your position two to be extracted, and you want only 1 and 3 and 4. What do you do with position 2? Because in structurally, data structurally, it is there, right? But you don't want it as part of a data classification, or you don't want it as a dimension. So what you do is you just toggle this button. Once you toggle this button, it basically extracts, and once you toggle this back to the left, it basically doesn't extract. But technically, as a data structure, as a data model, how things are, this doesn't change, but your output changes with 1, 3, and 4 getting classified as separate columns together.
Okay.
Cool. Then we have dimensions, we have calculated dimensions, we have hierarchy, we have data fusion, we have measurements. These are very important things. Calculated dimensions and measurements are like the functions which you will use at your fingertips every day, I believe. But then, as I mentioned, we will look for scalable methodologies as well, because scalable methods are needed when we are working with any tool. Uh, you keep on creating calculated dimensions for yourself. One day it will happen that things will take time to load. So see, 3 calculated dimensions, and this is taking time. Now think of, what, I don't know what you will think, but 200, 300, 400 dimensions in there. And automatically what happens is, once you change a date for a calculated dimension, it keeps on calculating on the fly, and then you use these calculated dimensions or calculated measurements in your dashboards. What happens is, everything goes for that loading mode, and it keeps on loading, and finally it crashes. So why to go for these things? But then, will I not use calculated dimensions? I will, because it is easy. It is very easy for me to write formulas in there and create a dimension, or define something in there, or like I'm onboarding a new project, or I'm taking work from someone new. what is to be done? Okay, this are the things which will fetch you this dimension. Okay, I'll write a calculated dimension, but when I'm done, when my project is at a maintenance state, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and use the more scalable methods which help me in the longer run, and it lessens my loading time, loading speeds. Correct. We have calculated measurements. Can anyone name me just one calculated measurement maybe that you have used sometime?
CPM, CPC,
Sorry?
CPM, CPC.
CPM, CPC, correct. So yeah, those are calculated measurements, you know that. And then you have filtered measurements, and then we have the Media Transparency Center. Media Transparency Center is not part of this course, but in our discussion with your management, we have taken it up. Like I've taken it up as as one theoretical discussion that we will have, because Media Transparency Center is a very important topic altogether when it comes to Datorama, because you know what Media Transparency Center does? It basically helps you compare your planned data with your actuals data. So if you have worked with tools like Prisma or Media Tools, these are tools whereby the planned data, you get your planned data from, in which it is aspired, like, you know, this is my planned data, how my execution is, how I want my campaigns to work, what is it, and what are the placements, and what are the ad server placements that I want to target, and how it is done. And then it is tallied with the delivered data that you get from, like, you know, the various DCM, DV360s. And what you do is you tally both the data, and you see at ad server placement ID level, how did my planned data react to
Can I like
react. Sorry.
nothing?
Okay. So Media Transparency Center helps you to do the IO management, and compare the plan versus actuals. So yeah, so that's about connect and mix, and then we go to analyze and act, in which we have Mr. Einstein Marketing Insights. It's basically the AI backed insights section, in which there are insights bots, where you can select your KPIs and you get a direction increasing or decreasing, and it helps you with certain analysis. Um, you can add your filters of whatever you filter you want, and this bot basically keeps on running, and it gives you what are the whatever KPIs you have chosen. It basically analyzes the ongoing data at real time and provides you with insights, which are which are helpful. Now, I have seen those insights, I've worked on those insights, and I've seen that more than an insight, it gives you a direction towards finding the insights. And that is, I'll say, that is a very good feature. We should not depend on Einstein Insights as whatever it gives it to me, I'll place it in a widget and I'll showcase it. People do that as well, but that is more of a, this is more of a directional tool which tells me, you know what, this event has happened in your campaigns or in your email deliveries. If you're working with Salesforce Marketing Cloud, it basically tells you that, you know, in your deliveries this has happened, or in this to this date there was a shift in and there was a movement in that metric as a whole. And you can just go ahead and check if things are going properly, or if there was a longer spike, it gives you, like, you know, there was a longer spike in between this to this date, and you can go ahead and check in your data what has happened, and you can go back to the story, because you will see that when there is a spike, there is a story behind it. If your graph is going at a regular speed, and then if people are into stock markets, or if you have seen stock markets or equity, or if you are doing any options trading or futures trading, anything, you will see that the market is going, which we call as market going sideways, where there is even uneven journeys, and then there is a drop. or then there is a lift. What happens? Why does it happen? Because there's some news that has come up, right? Maybe the other day it happened, like, the repo rates have increased. The government introduced it to control inflations. So what happened? The market, reciprocated in a certain manner. You see people, you see some sectors going down, you see banks going up, and all those things happening. So whenever there is a spike in any form of in any data, that is where your lookout should be whenever you're advertising, whenever you're reporting anything. So it's not about Datorama or Tableau or SQL or Excel, but always look for all those events that has helped spike your data from an usual position to a position that needs to be looked at. You will see that there is some story behind and something has happened, maybe a product launch, maybe a endorsement, maybe a tie-up, maybe an acquisition, and it's all part of your sales funnel or the marketing channel, marketing funnel, which helps you to, identify situations, identify how my campaign was strategized, what is it that helped me, what creative or what keywords or what was structurally, what was my campaign looking like, or what my strategies were looking like, which geared this up. There may be a campaign launch, but if it is an existing campaign that has shown a spike, that's where people have reciprocated to something, maybe a new creative that you have put in your campaign, or a new set of rich ads which you have just uploaded has gone for a hit, and you can use those things for your other analysis, other setup, other segmentations, other attributions, other analysis as well, which will help you in a holistic success for your campaigns. You can go ahead and tell your account managers about it, and they may go ahead and make changes, or may not go ahead and make changes, but say that, this is a good find. That's a big win. So that's how Einstein works. Then there is goals we have discussed the other day, whereby you can set goals for your measurements, that if impressions for my entire period at least, okay. Hmm. So that's how you can select your goal, like, um, and you firstly you'd have to name it. You have a measurement that you want to look at. There is goal type. Goal type is basically, at least, exactly, and at most. And then you can choose your period granularity. You can have your dimensions, whatever dimensions, if you want any dimensions. Then single goal for all entities. We will discuss what is an entity as well. So you can set your goals over here, and then you can monitor your goals by setting up notifications from the action center, activation center, and you can create actions, which basically helps you create, notifications, as we have discussed this yesterday as well, through emails, through Twilio, through Slack, and all the other things that comes in between. We have reports. We have discussed yesterday that anything that goes out of Datorama goes to a report. You can create a report, and you can choose the various, and your report name, export format, uh, all these setups are there. Then you have a pivot table, which is as similar to your Excel pivot table, and all these topics are separate topics. So I'm just going ahead with these discussions very quickly, so that I can go ahead with the next topic. We have Tableau data connection, whereby you can use Datorama as two ways. You can use Datorama as data engineering tool, and then you can use it as a holistic tool for visualization as well. But if your client is someone who is working on Salesforce, and he has taken up and he wants the visualization to be in Tableau, what you can do is you can use Datorama as an automated repository, whereby you have APIs, you have connected your data to APIs, you have harmonized your data in Datorama, and your thing is ready. Now that your data is ready, you can use Tableau data connection, whereby your visualization happens in Tableau, and we will discuss it how it happens. The last thing is visualizations. Visualization, these are your dashboards which you have, and in each dashboard you can create pages. So if you have an add new, it gives you blank dashboard or pages. So blank dashboard page, whereby that's like a canvas for you. And what you can do is you can choose the various widgets that are already there for you, and then you can create custom widgets as well if you know JavaScript. You can put images, you can have rich text, headers, etc., etc., etc. So that's how you, like, you select your widget and you add data to it. Um, I don't know what data is already in here, but if I have put anything like impressions, and maybe I don't know what is the campaign is there. Oh, campaign is there, but I'm not sure like if there is any data, anything. So it's showing a default campaign. That's how your tables come into being, and all these other widgets you can use as part of the visualization. And also you can create custom visualizations. We will see like one or two such stuffs which you can bring in and integrate as a Datorama widget if you know JavaScript, and we will take it forward from there.